Okay, so let us start with a very important chapter that is called risk assessment and internal controls, right? So, what do you understand by risk assessment and what do you mean by internal controls? We already have a little bit idea of that, but we are going to understand that in a very detailed manner. And there are so many things which we have to write also. So let's just start in 1 minute. Okay. So, anybody is having an idea about the term called risk? If anybody is having an idea about the term called risk, someone can explain what risk is all about. What do you understand by the term called risk? If anybody is having any kind of idea about the risk, just a simple definition of risk. Tell me, what do you understand by the term called risk? Uncertainties. Okay. Okay. Very nice, Devadarshini. So, can I say that, guys, risk means a probable chance of loss? Can I say that? Risk also refers to probable chance of loss. So, probable chance of loss means what? It has to happen or may not happen. It may or may not happen. Are you getting the point? That is what you mean by risk. And the second thing about the risk is whether the risk can be eliminated or the risk can be reduced. Tell me, everyone, whether the risk can be eliminated.
Reduced.
Yes, risk can only be reduced. It can never be what? Eliminated. That is what in this whole chapter we have to understand how the auditor can reduce the audit risk. How the auditor can reduce the audit risk, right or not? That is the first part of the topic that is called risk assessment. Second part of the topic known as internal control. Are you getting the point? Tell me one thing, whether the risk factor or the auditor's risk is also based upon the internal control system? Whether the auditor's risk is based upon the internal control system? Yes, it is based upon the internal control system. Now, better the internal control system is, tell me one thing, what shall be the audit risk? Better the internal control system, what shall be the audit risk? Try to tell me. Audit risk will be higher or lower? Lower. Okay. And poorer the internal control system is, audit risk will be what? Higher. So all these things we are going to understand, but in a very detailed manner. We'll go deeper into it. Each and every topic we'll understand. Where we'll understand what do you understand by risk assessment and what do you understand by the internal control. It's a very simple thing, guys. You cannot assess the. First of all, tell me what do you mean by assessing something? What do you understand by the term called assessment? What do you mean by the term called assessment? Assessment means examining. Assessment means what? Examining or understanding. Or you can say identifying. Are you getting the one? That is what do you mean by assessment. So whenever the auditor goes to the client's place to conduct an audit, the very first important thing which he has to do is he has to assess the risk. Now the question arises, sir, what do you mean by the term called audit risk? What do you mean by the term called audit risk? Ab sunna dhyan se. What do you understand by the audit risk? And now see, tell me one thing. Auditor does what? Does he give the guarantee on the financial statement or does he give the opinion on financial statement? Tell me, everyone.
Opinion.
Yes, auditor gives the opinion on financial statement. Now see, when an auditor, when an auditor, this is the definition of audit risk I'm telling you. When an auditor expresses an inappropriate opinion, which opinion? inappropriate opinion. So tell me one thing, guys. What do you understand by the term called inappropriate opinion? Correct opinion or wrong opinion? Tell me. What do you understand by the term called inappropriate opinion? Is it the correct opinion or wrong opinion? Wrong opinion. So when the auditor expresses an inappropriate opinion on financial statements as unmodified, which opinion he has given? Financial statements are what? Unmodified. What do you mean by unmodified? Clean. He has given the opinion that the financial statements are clean, whereas in actual such financial statements were full of MM. What is MM? Material misstatements. What do you mean by material misstatement? Full of what? Frauds and errors. Are you all understanding what I'm saying? Did you all understand the each and every word written in front of you? It's a very simple thing. That is what the definition of audit is. What do you mean by audit is? Whenever an auditor gives a wrong opinion on financial statement as unmodified, when an auditor gives the wrong opinion on financial statement as what? Unmodified. He thinks that the financial statements are what? Unmodified. Whereas in reality, such financial statements were full of material misstatements. Such financial statements were full of frauds and errors. But the auditor gave the opinion as inappropriate opinion. That is known as which risk, everyone? That is what do you mean by audit risk? So tell me one thing, is a auditor is also a human being or not? Yes. He can also do the mistakes or not? Yes. But why he did the mistake? He did the mistake because he did not assess the risk of the financial statements properly. It did not assess the internal control system of the entity properly. In such kind of situation, auditors sometimes may end up giving a correct judgment or wrong judgment. Wrong judgment. Are you getting the point or not? So you cannot say that you cannot blame the auditor. So what this chapter is going to tell you that whenever the auditor, this chapter is saying that whenever this auditor is going to do the audit, whenever the auditor is going to do the audit, what is the auditor's responsibility? His responsibility is to identify and assess the risk of MM. His responsibility is to identify or assess the risk of MM in financial statements. But by how? By understanding the client, by understanding the environment of the client, or by understanding the internal control systems of the client. So what are the three things you have to understand so that you can reduce the risk to the lowest acceptable level, everyone? What are the three things? Repeat. What are the three things we have to understand? We have to understand the client first. We have to understand the environment of the client also. And we also have to understand what? Which system? Internal control system. If we'll understand the client properly, if we'll understand the environment of the client properly, if we'll understand the internal control system of the client properly, can we reduce the risk to the lowest acceptable level? Yes or no? Yes. I'm not saying that we will eliminate the risk. Auditor can never eliminate the risk, but at least I can reduce the risk to the lowest acceptable level or not? Yes or no? Yes, that is what the whole idea behind this chapter. Did you all get the point or not? So everyone, please tell me what is the definition of audit risk, everyone? What is the definition of audit risk? Audit risk is a risk where the auditor expresses a which opinion? Appropriate or inappropriate opinion? Inappropriate opinion. And what do you mean by inappropriate opinion, everyone? What do you understand by the term called inappropriate opinion? Inappropriate opinion means what? Wrong opinion. Inappropriate opinion means what? Wrong opinion. And whereas the financial statements were already what? Materially misstated. Where the financial statements were already materially misstated. That is what do you mean by inappropriate opinion. I hope all of you understood the concept. Yes or no? Please let me know. Yes. So this is what do you mean by audit is. So in this chapter, we are going to talk about the two things. First, we are going to talk about what risk, and second thing, we are going to talk about what in detailed manner. What do you mean by internal control? Now, the first thing you have to understand that is, sir, what do you mean by audit risk? Remember one thing, audit risk is equal to inherent risk. Audit risk is equal to risk of material misstatement into detection risk. Audit risk is equal to risk of material misstatement into detection risk. Remember this formula. Audit risk is equal to ROMUM into detection risk. What do you mean by ROMUM into detection risk? Now tell me one thing. Detecting the risk or assessing the risk is whose responsibility? Think logically before answering. Detecting the risk and assessing the risk is whose responsibility?
Management.
No, 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 no. No, no, no. Management's responsibility nahi hai. I'm talking about the risk which is coming from the auditor's end. Detecting the risk. Yes. Tell me one thing. Deciding the procedures, deciding the evidences, and deciding the techniques. That is whose responsibility? Auditor's responsibility. So whether the auditor will be able to detect the risk of material misstatement, am I correct or not? Should he detect it correctly or not? But when the auditor fails to detect the correct judgment of the risk of material misstatement, then in that case, what happens? Then in that case, what happens? In that case, what happens? In that case, it is known as audit risk, everyone. Now, sir, what do you mean by risk of material misstatement? What do you mean by risk of material misstatement? Material misstatement, risk of material misstatement means inherent risk into control risk. Risk of material misstatement means inherent risk into the control risk. So tell me everyone, what is the total formula of audit risk then? Audit risk is equal to what? Inherent risk into control risk into which risk? Detection risk. Tell me guys, what is the formula? Inherent risk into control risk into detection risk. Now let me give you the idea about inherent risk and control risk. Now tell me one thing. Imagine a bank without the cameras. Imagine a bank without the cameras. Is it a control risk or it is an inherent risk? Think logically and give me the answer. Imagine a bank without the camera. There is a bank, but not even a single camera is there. So tell me one thing. What are the chances of frauds and errors? Highest or lowest? Highest. So tell me one thing. There is a presence of internal control system or there is no presence of internal control system? No presence. So definitely there are chances that definitely the frauds and errors will take place. Yes or no? Yes. That risk is known as which risk, everyone? Inherent risk. That risk is known as what? Inherent risk. Are you getting the point? Now, what do you mean by control risk? There are cameras in the bank, but they are not working. Second example is there are cameras in the bank, but they are not working. So tell me, internal control system is present or not? Yes, internal control system is present. But that internal control system which is present is efficient or inefficient? It means again the chances of frauds and errors are higher. That risk is known as which risk? Control risk. That is known as which risk, everyone? Control risk. And tell me one thing, what is the common thing you found between the inherent risk and control risk? Both the risks are coming to you because of what?
Present and unpresent.
Present and non-present of what? Internal
Control.
control system. In the inherent risk, internal control system was there or not there? Was not there. In the control risk, internal control system was there, but that was efficient or inefficient? inefficient. And tell me one thing, what is the common thing? The common thing is internal control system. And tell me, they both are auditor's risk or they both are management responsibility? Think logically. Internal control system is auditor's responsibility or management responsibility?
Management.
Management responsibility. So when the internal control system and what do you say, when the inherent risk and control risk are management responsibility and detection risk is the auditor's responsibility, so audit risk is only the auditor's responsibility or it is a combination of two persons responsibility? It's a combination of two persons responsibility. So let me just clear it out and let you know again. Tell me one thing, what is the formula of audit risk, everyone? Just now I told you, what is the formula of audit risk? Audit risk is equal to ROMUM
Yeah.
into detection risk. And tell me, what do you mean by ROMUM? Is equal to inherent risk into what? Control risk. And tell me everyone, what do you mean by inherent risk? Is it due to the presence of ICS or non-existence of ICS? Yes, internal control system is not at all existing, then definite. Acha, everyone please tell me what is the meaning of the word called inherent? What do you understand by the term called inherent?
Cannot be controlled.
Which cannot be controlled. Inherent means something which is separable or inseparable?
Inseparable.
Inseparable. So tell me, a bank without the cameras, can you control the frauds or frauds will definitely happen?
Will definitely
Will definitely happen. So it means that is called which risk, everyone? Inherent risk. It is because of the non-existence of which system? So tell me, it is whose responsibility? Management's responsibility. Okay. Control risk. Control risk. Are you getting the point or not? Control risk. Control risk, mein what we understood? Internal control system is there, but that internal control system is efficient or inefficient?
inefficient.
It means cameras are there, but cameras are working or not working? Not working. Again, that is whose responsibility? Our auditor is not going to repair the cameras now. That is also management responsibility. So can I say that inherent risk and control risk both are whose responsibility? Management responsibility. But tell me one thing, making a choice of procedure, making a choice of audit evidences, and making a choice of audit techniques is whose responsibility?
Yes.
Auditor's responsibility. And when he makes a inappropriate choice, when he makes a wrong choice, it means that is auditor's fault or not? Yes. And when the inherent risk meets with the current control risk, meets with the detection risk, it means management is also poor and auditor is also wrong. In that case, which risk comes, everyone? Audit risk. Which risk comes? It is known as which risk? Audit risk. So this is the second method by which you can understand the meaning of the term called what? The audit risk. So tell me one thing, even though the name of the risk which we are doing is known as audit risk, but is the audit risk is the only responsibility of the auditor or it is a combined responsibility of auditor as well as management? Combined responsibility. Did you all understand? Because inherent risk and control risk are the management responsibility, whereas the detection risk is whose responsibility? Auditor responsibility. When both the people are unable to control their internal control system and unable to make the correct judgment, then which risk will come? Audit risk will come. Did you all understand crystal clear each and every sentence which I told you so far? Yes or no? Comment box. Please comment everyone. CC or not CC? Crystal clear or not crystal clear? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Very nice. So, and what is the definition of audit? Acha, due to the inherent risk, due to the control risk, and due to the, what do you say, or detection risk, whether auditor may end up giving the wrong opinion sometimes or not. Yes, that is why, what is the definition we have written of the audit risk? Read the definition. When the auditor expresses an inappropriate opinion on financial statement. What kind of opinion on financial statement he has given? Appropriate or inappropriate? Inappropriate. And what is the opinion he has given? I think that financial statements are what? Clean. I think that financial statements are clean. But in actual, what is the financial statement? Are they clean or full of material misstatements?
By mistake.
Full of material misstatements, which he was able to detect or unable to detect? Unable to detect. Because of what? Because of inherent risk, because of control risk, and because of which risk? Detection. I hope all of you understood the concept. Yes or no? Yes. So I need someone to read it out. Komal, can you read it out today?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please read out the first paragraph.
Audit risk means the risk that the auditor gives an inappropriate audit opinion when the financial statements are materially misstated. Thus, it is the risk that the auditor may fail to express an appropriate opinion in an audit assignment.
Yes. Is there any doubt written in front of you? Any person is having any kind of doubt? Audit risk means the risk that the auditor may give the which opinion? Inappropriate opinion when the financial statements are what? Materially misstatement. Thus, the risk that auditor may fail to express a appropriate opinion on the audit assignment. That kind of risk is known as audit risk. The audit risk is a function of what? Read the next point.
Audit risk is a function of this statement detection.
Hmm. What do you mean by risk of material misstatement?
Risk of material mistake is defined. The risk that the financial statements are materially misstated prior to audit. It consists of two components described as follows at the assertion: inherent risk, the susceptibility of an assertion about a class of unbalance or disclosure to a misstatement that could be material either individually or when aggregated with other misstatements before consideration of any related.
Now, I will tell you in a very simple way. What do you mean by inherent risk? That inherent risk is a risk. Inherent risk is a risk which occurs due to existence of ICS or non-existence. Non-existence of internal control system, and ensures that error may occur or error will definitely occur.
Definitely.
Errors and frauds will definitely occur. Am I correct or not? This is what do you mean by which risk, everyone? Inherent risk. Okay. Now, what do you mean by control risk?
The risk that a misstatement that could occur in an assertion about a class of transaction account balance or disclosure that could be material either individually or when created with other items will not be prevented or detected and corrected on a timely basis by the entity's internal.
Will not be prevented, detected, and corrected. What do you mean by will not be prevented and detected and corrected? It means, can I say that for something to call as a control risk, there was a presence of internal control system or not?
Yes.
Yes, but that internal control system was efficient or inefficient?
Inefficient.
Inefficient. That internal control system was inefficient. That internal control system was limited. That internal control system was poor, due to which errors and frauds can be prevented or cannot be? Cannot be detected, cannot be prevented, and cannot be what? Corrected. Did you get the point? So what is the major difference between inherent risk and control risk you found, everyone? What is the major difference? In the inherent risk, so there is no internal control system. But in the control risk, there is an internal control system, but you are unable to control your frauds and errors. Did you all understand the point or not?
Yes.
Yes. And the both are whose responsibility? They both are whose responsibility? Definitely a management responsibility. So you cannot say that just because the risk name is known as audit risk, is it the full responsibility of the auditor? No, it is a combined responsibility of what? Some poor judgment of the auditor and some complete inefficiency of whom? Management. That is why it is known as auditors. Now tell me, what do you mean by misstatement, everyone? Let me give you one simple example. You are expecting that, listen to the meaning of misstatement. You are expecting that ki ABCD. What do you mean by ABCD, everyone? Do you remember? Account balance, class of transaction, and disclosures. You are expecting that ABCD, you are expecting that ABCD will be disclosed like this. Whereas in actual, ABCD is disclosed like this. Now tell me, if there is a difference between your expectations and actual, that difference is known as what? Misstatement. That difference is known as what? Misstatement. Did you all understand the point or not? So the difference between your expectations and your reality of the account balances, class of transactions, and disclosures in the financial statement, that is known as misstatement, everyone. Now read the misstatement. What is the point written? Read it loudly.
Misstatement refers to a difference between the amount, classification, presentation, or disclosure of a reported financial statement item and the amount, classification, presentation, or disclosure that is required for the item to be in accordance with the applicable financial reporting framework. Statement can arise from error or fraud.
So can I say that what was required? Can I say that what was required as per AFRF and what actually the company has done? The difference between the two is known as what?
Mistake.
No, misstatement. Are you all getting the point? Is it looking easier in this way? What is
Yes.
required as per AFRF and what the actual company has done, the difference between the two is known as misstatement. Tell me.
So in case of controls, is it a term is called deviation or misstatement only?
Sorry?
In case of test of control,
If the deviation is controllable, if the deviation is manageable in nature, then it will not be a misstatement.
okay.
Yeah, if the deviation is huge, are you getting the point? Then in that case, there is definitely a problem. Then in that case, you can call it as a misstatement. Clear?
Mistake.
Yes or
Yes.
no? So I hope everybody who is listening, each and everyone, I hope you all understood the introduction of the chapter or not. Did you all understand so far? Yes, everyone?
Yes,
Chalo.
sir.
Yes. Okay. Next point. Read the next topic.
Assessment of risk, matter of professional judgment.
Hmm.
The assessment of risk is based on audit procedures to obtain information necessary for that purpose and evidence obtained throughout the audit. The assessment of risk is a matter of professional judgment rather than a matter capable of precise measurement.
See, you can all say that ki, I already told you right from the beginning also that our audit is full of which judgment? Professional judgment. Are you getting the point or not? What might be material in one's judgment? Is it necessary that it will be material in others' judgment? No, it may or may not be material in the other's judgment. That is where the question of risk comes. Are you getting the point? Sometimes the auditor may assess that ki, okay, the risk is very high. And at the same point of time, next year at the same on the same thing, auditor may assume that risk is very less. So tell me one thing: is it risk is a or can say professional judgment is a absolute term or relative term?
Relative.
Relative term. What do you mean by relative? It keeps on what? Changing. It keeps on changing. So at one point of time, when you think that the audit risk is high, another point of time you may think that audit risk is less. So assessment of risk is completely and 100% a matter of professional judgment. Sometimes the auditor may think that by observation I can get the best evidence. Sometimes the auditor may think that by inquiry I may get the best evidence. Sometimes the auditor may think that by inspection I may get the best evidence. So it is all purely dependent upon the auditor's professional judgment. That is how he assesses the risk. That is what is written in front of you. Clear, everyone? Now, what is not included in the audit risk? That you have to read. Read.
Audit risk does not include the risk that the auditor might experience that the statements are clearly misstated when they are not. This risk is ordinarily insignificant.
Next one.
Further, audit risk is a technical term related to the process. It does not refer to the auditor's business risk, such as loss from litigation, was public, or even arising in connection to auditor financial.
So what is not included in the audit risk, everyone? Audit risk does not include the risk that auditor might express that financial statements are materially misstatement when they are what? Not. Actually, audit risk means what? It is vice versa of this sentence. In the audit risk, auditor is giving a which statement? Yeah, inappropriate judgment. Whereas the financial statements are what? Materially misstated. When the financial statements are materially misstated, but the auditor has given an unmodified opinion. Read the whole sentence. The first point, is it vice versa of that or not?
Audit risk does not include the risk that the auditor might express an opinion that the financial statements are materially misstated when they are not.
So tell me, financial statements are not materially misstated, and you are saying that financial statements are materially misstated. That is the audit risk.
No.
No, that is complete opposite to the definition of audit risk or not.
Yes, sir.
So my question is very simple, everyone. Is the point number completely different or completely opposite to the definition of audit risk or not? What is the definition of audit risk, Komal? Please tell. What is the definition of audit risk? Yes.
It is inappropriate opinion given by the auditor when the financial statements are materially misstated.
Now do the vice versa of your sentence. Auditor is saying that the financial statements are materially misstated when actually they are or they are not.
They are not.
So that is what is not an audit risk. Is it correct or not? Did you all understand? It's a very simple thing to understand. When the audit risk definition we know, and this particular point number one is completely opposite to that definition. So is it a audit risk or it is not an audit risk? Tell me.
Not an audit.
Not an audit risk. Clearly. Very nice. Read the point number two, Komal, again.
Further, audit risk is a technical term related to the process of auditing. It does not refer to the auditor's business risk such as loss from litigation or other events arising in connection with the auditor financial
So
statements.
audit risk has no connection with what? Audit risk has no connection with the adverse publicity. Audit risk has no connection with the auditor's businesses. So these are the two things which are not at all included in what? These are not at all included in the audit risk, everyone. Right or not? So what is not included in the audit risk? The opposite definition of audit risk is not included in the audit risk, and audit risk does not include the auditor's business risk relating to adverse publicity or relating to loss from litigation and all those things. Right or not? Now, everyone, ROMUM to you already know. ROMUM happens at one level or two levels. ROMUM actually happens at two levels. What are the two levels? One is known as financial statement level and one is known as assertion level. One is known as financial statement level, one is known as assertion level. Sir, what do you mean by ROMUM at financial statement level when the AFRF, when the AFRF is applied or not applied?
Not applied.
Not applied. So it means the whole financial statements are full of risk of material misstatement. Yes or no? And when particular assertion, everyone, I hope you all know the meaning of assertion. Existence is an assertion or not? Yes, and when they are not allowing you to visit the factory to check the existence of plant and machinery, now tell me, again there is a ROMAM or not? But is it a ROMAM of whole financial statement or is it a ROMAM of one assertion of an asset?
One assertion of this.
So yes, so it means here also AFRF is not followed, but not at financial statement level, but at which level? Assertion level. So ROMAM takes place at two levels, everyone. So ROMAM takes place at financial statement level and ROMAM takes place at assertion level. Read it out, please.
The overall financial statement level is material misstatement. The overall financial statement.
Is
Risk
your
of
volume
material.
low from your side, Komal?
Now is it correct, sir?
Yeah, it's fine now.
Risks of material misstatement at the overall financial statement level refers to risks of material misstatement that relate pervasively to the financial statement as a whole and potentially affects many assertions.
So tell me which one is a broader concept, everyone? ROMAM at FS is bigger than ROMAM at assertion, or ROMAM at assertion is bigger than ROMAM at FS?
At FS, it is bigger.
Yes, ROMAM at FS is always a broader concept as compared to ROMAM at assertions. I hope all of you are understanding it clearly. Yes, now read the point number 2.
The assertion level or class of transactions account balance and disclosure. Risk of material misstatement at the assertion level are assessed in order to determine the nature, timing, and extent of further audit procedures.
Do you all remember that chart? What is the
Yes,
first audit procedure do we follow?
risk of material misstatement.
What is the first audit procedure we follow? That is called RAP. Am I correct or not? Yes. RAP gives us the which information? RAP gives us the which information?
ROMAM information.
ROMAM information. And ROMAM helps us in deciding the NTE of FAP or not? Yes,
Yes.
that is what is written. Now read the sentence again, you will understand it.
Risk of material misstatement at the assertion level are assessed in order to determine the nature, timing, and extent of further audit procedures necessary to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. This evidence enables the auditor to express an opinion on the financial statements at an acceptably low level of audit risk.
So I hope there is no doubt at all in this page also. Very easy going page. Am I correct or not? If anybody is having a doubt, I'll wait. You can ask me the doubt. I'll clarify immediately if somebody is having a doubt. If no doubt, then we can proceed further. No doubt, guys? Okay, let's proceed next. Now, components of what?
Of material
So
misstatement.
what do you mean by ROMAM? ROMAM is equal to what?
Inherent risk plus
Inherent risk and control risk. What do you mean by inherent risk, everyone? Let's write it and we can like skip reading. Let's write what do you mean by inherent risk and what do you mean by control risk? Tell me, everyone. Both are whose responsibilities?
Management response.
This is also management responsibility and this is also management responsibility. Okay. What is the reason of inherent risk? Presence of ICS or non-existence of ICS?
Non-existence of IC.
Non-existence of internal control system. But what about the control risk? Existence
Existence
of
but not
internal control
efficiently.
system, but poorly or efficiently?
Efficiently.
Inefficiently, but poorly, inefficiently. And what is the meaning of inherent risk? Frauds and errors will occur. Can I say that? Yes, but here frauds and errors can be controlled or cannot be controlled.
Can be controlled.
Cannot be. Why? Because your internal control system is poor or not. It could have been
Yes.
controlled. I will say that you should not write can be. Frauds and errors couldn't be prevented, couldn't be detected,
Prevented and
and couldn't be corrected. Correct or not? Due to the poor internal control system. And when they both meet with each other, they both give what output?
Audit risk. Come
They give the ROMUM. And when the ROMUM meets with the detection risk, where the auditor also has made the poor judgment, they all three put together gives the birth to whom? Audit risk, everyone. Here, very nice. Okay. Now, just for the sake of reading it, just read it Komal once.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Inherent risk.
Inherent risk is higher for some assertions and related classes of transactions, account balances, and disclosures than for others. For example, it may be higher for complex calculations. External circumstances giving rise to business risk may also influence inherent. For example, technological development might make a particular product obsolete. Factors in the entity and its environment may also influence the inherent risk related to a specific assertion.
Everyone, please tell me, what do you mean by technology? Technology is a constant item or technology keeps on changing? Technology keeps on changing. But tell me one thing, is it changing at a slower rate or it is changing at a faster rate? Now, can I say that there is one company? Now, listen to this. There is one company which has recently incurred rupees 100 crore rupees on upgrading its technology. Are you getting the point? 100 crore rupees ka internal control system upgrade they have done. Understand this example. Now tell me next year whether this technology is updated or obsolete. It is no. Suppose in the 2021 you spent 100 crore rupees to upgrade your internal control system. In the next few years, whether your internal control system will be updated or your internal control system is obsolete. Your internal control system will become what? Obsolete. Why it will become obsolete? Tell me why it will become obsolete? Because can you afford the 100 crore rupees every year to update your technology?
No.
No. Remember one thing, if your company, if your entity is purely based upon the technology and technology keeps on changing at a very rapid speed, then in that case, 1 year it may be updated, but the next year it may go what? Obsolete. So tell me one thing, chances of inherent risk are there or not?
Yes.
Yes. It means next year you may or may not be able to detect what? Frauds and errors. Clear everyone? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So that is what is written in the example number 1. Read the second part.
Inherent risk factors are considered while designing tests of controls and substantive procedures. Category of auditor's assessment lower or higher. Each category covers a range of degree of inherent risk. Auditor may assess the inherent risk of two different assertions as lower while recognizing that one assertion has less inherent risk than the other, although both have been assessed as low. It is important to consider the reason for each identified inherent risk, even if the risk is lower, when the auditor designs tests of controls and substantive.
So simply what they are saying that ki auditor, when the auditor is designing, when the auditor is designing his what? His TOC. What is TOC everyone? Testing of controls. And when he is designing his SP, do you all remember they both are known as FAP? What do you mean by FAP? Further audit procedure. Simply, whenever the auditor is designing his FAP, whenever the auditor is designing his FAP, what do you mean by TOC everyone? Testing of controls and substantive procedure. He always take into consideration the inherent risk. Even though the inherent risk is the lowest in the company, but you have to identify the risk also, ki why it is lowest. Tell me one thing, inherent risk is only because of ICS or no ICS? No ICS. So don't you think that you have a duty to understand the reason ki why there is no ICS? Yes. So that is what the lawmaker is telling to identify the reasons, even if inherent risk is low. Did you all understand the point or not? Because until and unless you don't know the reason why the company has not installed the internal control system, due to which the inherent risk is coming. You can't decide the NTE of your testing of controls. You can't decide the NTE of your substantive procedures. Did you all understand the point? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So if you want to decide what should be the nature, timing, and extent of your testing of controls, if you want to decide should be the nature, timing, and extent of your substantive procedure, you have to first identify the inherent risk. If inherent risk is there, it doesn't matter whether it is high inherent risk or low inherent risk. Even if it is a low inherent risk, you have every responsibility to identify the reasons why there is a low inherent risk. Did you all understand completely or not? Yes.
Yes.
Now read the answer. Read the example, sorry.
Example, lack of sufficient working capital to continue operations or a declining industry characterized by a large number of business failures.
Now tell me one thing. What do you understand by working capital, everyone? Current assets minus current liabilities. Now tell me, are they required to be used in your process of production on daily basis? Yes or no? Yes. So tell me one thing. Do you need a raw material on daily basis? Yes. Do you need a cash on daily basis? Yes. So all these things are known as current assets or current liabilities? Current assets. And you might have taken so many short-term loans also. Do you have to repay them on daily basis? Yes. So remember one thing, a lack of sufficient working capital to continue operation or a declining industry characterized by the number of business failures is known as inherent risk. मैं तुम्हें एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल बताता हूँ. अब तुम मुझे ये बताओ, let's talk about real estate sector. Let's talk about real estate sector. Now tell me, due to corona, whether the construction activities were continued or due to the corona construction activities were halted. They were halted. When they were halted, tell me, what will be the demand of iron and steel in the market? Iron and steel, high demand or lower demand? Lower. What is the demand? What is the demand of cement in the industry? Lower. What is the demand of real estate? Means houses, purchases and all? Lower. Now tell me whether these three industries, because of their poor internal control system, they are down today, or it is because of the uncontrollable situation they are down today. So tell me one thing, what is that uncontrollable system? That is called corona, lockdown. Now tell me, can you control that, or it is an inherent risk? Yes, it is not at all controllable. So it is controllable risk or inherent risk? Inherent risk. Can you do something about this? No, you can't do anything about this. Your industry will definitely go low. Your cement industry will definitely go low. Real estate industry will definitely go low. Are you getting the point or not? You can't do anything about this. So tell me, when you can't do anything about this, that is not at all a control thing. That is a control or uncontrolled thing. Uncontrolled thing. Because this is all a natural disaster which is happening. Are you getting the point? So it is again an example of what? Which risk, everyone? Inherent risk. It's a very simple thing, guys. Say for example, I have wine and beer shops. Suppose I have the wine and beer shops in Hyderabad. I have, say for example, 100 wine and beer shops. Am I the Vijay Mallya of Hyderabad or not? Yes. Suppose one day Telangana government declares that supply of liquor and consumption of liquor both are illegal offense. Now tell me, next day, am I a Vijay Mallya or beggar?
Yes.
And next day, I am a beggar only, na? So tell me whether my 100 wine and beer shops are completely full stopped. So tell me, can I do anything about this? No. So that is a control risk or inherent? Again, inherent risk. Did you get the point or not? I can't do so. It's not always about कि you don't have internal control system, then only the inherent risk will happen. It's sometimes about the situations which are out of your control, कि you can't control it. Definitely, the losses will definitely occur. Tell me, can you do something about this situation now? No. Is it inherent inside you? Yes, you have to shut down your business now because you can't survive. Because government order you can't change. You are not that big to change the government order. Acha, say for example, if one of the supplier told me that, ki sir, I will not be able to supply you that much of liquor which I am supplying you on daily basis. Now tell me, is that an inherent situation or is that a controllable situation?
Controllable.
You can pay higher amount to that supplier to control the supply of the liquor. Am I correct or not?
Yes.
Yes. So are you understanding the depth inside the topic now? Yes. This is what do you mean by which risk, everyone? Inherent risk. I hope all of you got justified with the examples. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Now read the concept of control risk, please.
Control risk is a function of the effectiveness of the design.
Little bit louder. Yeah.
Control risk is a function of the effectiveness of the design, implementation, and maintenance of internal control by the management.
Hmm.
However, internal control can only reduce but not eliminate risk of material misstatement in the financial statement.
Hmm.
This is because of the inherent limitations of internal control.
It's also very simple thing. Tell me one thing. Even though you have the cameras, let's say for example, even though you have the 40 cameras in your organization, matlab you might be thinking from inside that, sir, 40 cameras in the organization means where I can definitely eliminate the risk. Is that feeling coming from inside you? Now tell me one thing. Why that feeling is not coming? Tell me, Manu. Why?
This 40 cameras will not cover all areas.
Let's say for example, all the areas covered. Even the blind spots are also covered. Each and
Going
every
back 24
there are 40 corners and there are 40 cameras. Now I'll make it easy for you. There are 40 corners in the office and there are 40 cameras in each and every corner. Now tell me. Now to you can 100% sure na कि anybody will do any and they are working also 24/7. Can you say that anybody who will try to do anything you will be able to catch him? Let's imagine there is a camera in the washroom also. Now tell me, Manu, can you detect each and every fraud and error?
No, sir.
Still no. Why?
Cameras are just finding the material. What to say? Only
Think,
seeing the
think.
cameras
Acha,
are
tell me
watching
one
the
thing. Even though in each and every 40 cameras are there, like let me give you one example now. In each and every corner, there are 40 cameras are there. In 40 corners, 40. But who is controlling those cameras? Who is this person? Human. Are you getting the point or no? Now tell me, today's human can be easily bought and sold in the market. Yes. Can someone buy the character of this human or not? Can someone bribe this security guard who is taking care of all the 40 cameras or not? Yes or no? I can bribe this cameraman. I can bribe this security person and I can tell him कि when I'm doing the fraud at this time at this place, please switch off the camera. Can I say that to him? Take 2 lakh rupees. I gave 2 lakh rupees to this security person and told him to switch off the camera when I'm doing the fraud. So tell me, can you eliminate the risk or you can only control it?
control.
You can only control it. You can only reduce it. You cannot eliminate it. That is what is written in the whole sentence, my friend. Read the sentence, Komal, again regarding the control risk.
Control risk is a function of the effectiveness of design, implementation, and maintenance of internal control by management. However, internal control can only reduce but not eliminate risk of material misstatement in the financial statement. This is because of the inherent limitations of internal control.
Yes. Next one, example,
Example,
please.
possibilities of human errors or mistakes or of controls being
circumvented by collusion.
collusion.
Collusion means मिली भगत. हिंदी में हम लोग बोलते हैं ना मिली भगत. I don't know what do we call in Tamil. मिली भगत means when so many people join the hands together to do the fraud. They make a cartel. What do we call it in Tamil? What do we call it in Tamil?
What,
When,
sir?
when so many people join the hands together to do one fraud.
Poontichadi.
Ah, same copy paste. Are you getting the point or not? So, control risk and inherent risk, I don't think so that you have any kind of doubt. Now, read the next point.
Auditor assess control risk as rely or not rely on controls. When making control risk assessment, consider
So, what
the
they are
control-
saying that ki whenever you are making the assessment of their control risk, what are the factors you have to consider? What are the things you have to keep it in mind when you are assessing their control risk? Point number one.
the control environment's influence over internal control. A control environment that supports the prevention and detection and correction of material misstatements allows greater confidence in the reliability of internal control and audit evidence generated within the entity. However, it does not guarantee the effectiveness of specific controls. We therefore test the operating effectiveness of controls for a significant class of transactions when we plan to take a control reliance strategy. Conversely, this control environment may undermine the effectiveness of specific controls and is a key factor in our control risk assessment.
It's a very simple thing. Try to understand. As an auditor, will you get impressed by just because 40 cameras are installed in the organization? Or you would like to test them also? Test them also, no? Just because, if I have to impress the auditor like this only, can I install 100 cameras? Tell me, if I know that my auditor will get impressed by looking at the number of cameras, and if I'll install the 100 cameras, is it fine or not?
Yes.
Yes. So remember one thing, only looking at the control is not going to give you an idea. You have to test that. So never rely or never have a confidence just by looking at the control system. Try to test it also. Are you getting the point? Because testing only will give you the guarantee whether it is effective or not. That's the reason we do the TOC. What is TOC, everyone?
Of control.
Testing of controls. That is what the point number one. I hope everyone understood.
Yes, sir.
Yes, next point.
Evaluations of the related IT process that support application and IT department manual control.
Acha, tell me, you have the best computers in your organization. You have the qualified staff in your organization. You have the best internet facility in your organization. You have the best application softwares in your organization. Top end IT technology you are using. But your IT department person is fraudulent fellow. Now tell me whether everything gone into waste or not. Yes, that person is easily can be bribed. So can he manipulate your IT information technology to get the undue advantage or not?
Yes.
Yes. So there is no point. That is what the point number two. What is the point number three?
Our testing approach over significant
Scots.
class of transactions
Significant class of transactions. Yes.
and disclosure process. That is, controls reliance on substantive only strategy.
Okay, next.
The expectation of the operating effectiveness of controls based on the understanding of the entity's process.
So obviously you will expect a higher positive result only, but actually after the testing only you can completely say whether you can rely it or not. Read the next point.
Control risk assessment when control deficiencies are identified.
So when you found out the deficiencies in their internal control system, how you are going to assess the control risk? Are you getting the point? That is what this point. Read the point.
When auditor identifies deficiencies and report on internal controls, he determines the significant financial statement assertions that are affected by the ineffective controls in order to evaluate the effect on control risk assessment and strategy for the audit of financial statements.
So tell me everyone, when you know that there are deficiencies in the internal control system, will you keep calm or you will make a strategy to what do you say, overcome that?
strategy.
You will make a strategy. Are you getting the point? That how you are going to deal with that, right? Next point.
When control deficiencies are identified, an auditor identifies and tests more than one control for each relevant assertion. He evaluates the control risk considering all of the controls he has tested.
Hmm.
If auditor determines that they support or rely on control risk assessment, or if compensating controls are identified, tested, and evaluated to be effective, he may conclude that the rely on controls is still appropriate. Otherwise, we change our control risk assessment to not rely on.
Dekho, it's a very simple thing. What do you mean by rely on controls? What do you mean by not rely on controls? Tell me one thing. If you already have a good experience of doing the audit of your client since last 4 or 5 years, and you know that their internal control system is super effective, and in the last 4 or 5 years you have already tested them also. So in the fifth year, can you rely?
No.
No, just I'm asking an question. Will you get a simple feeling of relying it or not?
Yes.
Yes, but even though you get a feeling of relying it, but are you going to completely rely on it, or fifth year also you are going to test it?
Tested.
Yes, fifth year also you are going to test it. And after testing, again you are getting the thing. Remember one thing, relying or not relying is not the question here. You have to remember one thing, what can go wrong? Is it mandatory that the situation of the company which was last year is going to be same this year?
No.
No. So
Definitely.
remember, yeah, it may change. It may definitely change. Like, so for example, 1920 might have been the good financial year for some companies, but 2021, I can guarantee that most of the companies suffered the losses only. Am I correct or not? So that is what you mean by rely on the controls or not rely upon the controls dependent upon. Read the next paragraph.
When a deficiency relates to an ineffective control, that is only control identified for an assertion, he revises risk assessment to not rely on controls for associated assertion,
Hmm.
as no other controls have been identified that mitigate the risk related to the assertion.
So it's a very simple thing. Try to understand. There is only one control system installed in the organization to test that one assertion, and that control system is completely useless, and you don't have any other alternative also. Then you will shift your focus from rely on controls to not rely on controls, or you will keep your focus on rely on controls.
Not rely on controls.
Yes, so there is only one control, and that only control is not working, then and you don't have any alternative also. So do you have to revise your strategy? Yes, that is what is written. Read the last paragraph again, Komal, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
When a deficiency relates to an ineffective control, that is the only control identified for an assertion, he revises risk assessment to not rely on controls for associated assertions, as no other control have been identified that mitigate the risk related to the assertion. If the deficiency relates to one what can go wrong out of several what can go wrongs, he can rely on control but perform additional.
See, it's simple thing. If you have the options, then in that case you can rely on the other controls also. Are you getting the point? But when you don't have an option and there is only single thing which is required to do the testing of this particular assertion, and that thing is not working and there is no alternative at all, then in that case definitely you have to focus on not rely on controls. Am I correct or not? Now read the last line, everyone. What is the last line? If the deficiency related to one what can go wrong out of several what can go wrong, means what? You have several options. Out of the several option, only one option is not working. Then in that case, what you can do? Read the sentence, Komal, last में comma के बाद.
He can rely on controls
Yes,
but
then he can
perform
rely on controls but perform which procedure?
substantive
So,
additional.
are you getting it? So when you have an options, you can perform the substantive audit procedures. But when you don't have an option, there was only a single control and that itself is not working, then to my friend, definitely you don't have to go for rely on controls. You have to go for not rely on controls, right? Next one, combined assessment of ROMM. So we understood IR, we understood CR, And now we are going to understand combined effect of IR and CR. Read it. Next.
Do not ordinarily refer to inherent risk and control risk separately, but rather to a combined assessment of the risk of material mistake. However, the auditor However, the auditor may make separate or combined assessments of inherent and control risk depending on preferred audit techniques or methodologies and practical control. The assessment of the risk of material misstatement may be expressed in quantitative terms, such as in percentages, or in non-quantitative terms. In any case, the need for the auditor to make appropriate risk assessment is more important than the different approaches by which they may be made.
So it's a simple thing. They are saying that the auditor should do the evaluation of individual inherent risk and individual control risk also, but at the same point of time, he should do the evaluation of combined risk of material misstatement, where the inherent risk is multiplied with what? Where the inherent risk is multiplied with which risk?
Control.
Control risk.
Control.
So make sure that IR into CR also you should evaluate. IR separately also you should evaluate, and CR separately also you should evaluate. That is what the lawmaker is trying to tell you. And you know that when the IR and CR meets with each other, they both brings an answer called what? ROMUM. And when the ROMUM meets with what? Detection risk. What is known as?
Audit.
Auditors. That is what the formula is all given. So it means we know the meaning of inherent risk. We know the meaning of control risk. Now it's time to understand the detection risk. First of all, read this chart.
Types of audit risk. The risk that the accounts may contain misstatements, inherent risk derived from the characteristics of the enterprise and its environment.
Hmm.
Control risk, the risk that internal controls will not prevent or detect material errors.
Hmm.
Detection risk, the risk that the auditor may fail to detect misstatements.
So can I clearly say that these both are looking like as whose responsibility? And this one is completely looking like whose one?
Auditor.
Auditor's response. Clear or not? Yes. Okay. Now we are going to understand this thing. What is the third risk? Detection risk. So I will simply tell you. What do you mean by PET, everyone?
Procedures, evidences, techniques.
Procedures, evidence. When you make a wrong decision about all of them, that is known as DR. And do you remember that I already told you the same concept in audit sampling? I told you it is also known as non-sampling risk. Am I correct or not?
Yes, sir.
I think Komal, you are the only one who asked me at that point of time, sir, what is sampling risk?
Yes, yes.
Right or not? So DR is equal to what? NSR, non-sampling risk. When you make a wrong judgment about your PET, are you getting your procedures, evidences, and techniques? Then in that case, it means which risk is going on? Detection risk is going on. Read it.
The risk that the procedures performed by the auditor to reduce audit risk to an acceptably low level will not detect a misstatement that exists and that could be material, either individually or when aggregated with other mistakes.
So that is what you mean by which risk? That is what you mean by detection risk, everyone. Crystal clear? Yes or no? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Next point. Now this is a major core of our chapter, that is called what? How to identify and how to assess the ROMUM. Actually, this is nothing but our essay 315. So after such a long time, we are going to do one standard. And remember one thing, your auditing exam is completely incomplete without one question on essay 315. You can't even imagine an auditing exam paper without essay 315. So definitely it is a sure shot must question in your examination. Are you getting the point? It is a sure shot must question in your examination. Now start reading it. Very simple standard. It is just that some of the technicalities are there that you have to remember. And there are some things also which you can skip also. There are some unnecessary things also. So many unnecessary things in this standard, but there are so many necessary things also. So I'll keep on telling you what you may skip and what you may have to do. Now read it, please.
Yes. Identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement. Objective of auditor as per SA 315.
So what is the name of our SA 315? The name of the SA 315 is auditor shall identify. पहले तो उसे identify करना पड़ेगा. First he will identify the risk. Then he should what? Assess also. What is the magnitude of the risk? First he should identify what kind of risk is there in the organization. Then he should assess the magnitude, the heaviness, the worth of that risk of what? Material misstatements. But how he will come to know about that? By understanding what? Entity and its what? Environment. And the third thing, which is not written in the standard, but I will suggest that you should better write, which system? Internal control system. So auditor should first understand his client, that is called entity. He should second understand the environment of his client, that is called entity, and he should understand their internal control systems also, so that he can identify and he can assess the ROMUM. So everyone, did you understand the meaning of the standard or not? Yes? Now read it out.
As per SA 315, identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement through understanding the entity and its environment. The objective of the auditor is to identify the and assess risk of material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error, the financial statement and assertion levels. Through understanding the entity and
So
its
how you can identify and assess the ROMUM without understanding your client or with understanding your client?
with
Understand.
You have to understand the client, you have to understand his environment, you have to understand what? His internal control systems also. Then only you can identify and you can assess the risk. So that is what 315 will teach you. 330, which is not there in your portion, says that ki after identifying and after assessing, how you are going to deal with them. That is what we will learn in 330. But unfortunately, 330 is not there in your portion. Clear or not? Read it.
including entities' internal control, thereby providing a basis for designing and implementing responses to the assessed risk of material misstatement. This will help the auditor to reduce the risk of material misstatement to an acceptably low level.
So if we'll understand our client, its environment and internal control system, we can identify and assess the ROMUM at the financial level or at the what? Assertion level. And it will definitely help the auditor to reduce the risk of what? Material misstatement to the highly acceptable level or lower acceptable level? Lowest. So let us understand 315 in detail. I think you all know that ROMUM takes place at two levels. What are the two levels? Financial statement level as well as which level?
Person level.
Assertion level of ABCD. So financial statement level as well as the assertion level of ABCD. Next one.
Which one, sir?
Yeah, read the next. Read the whole sentence.
The auditor shall identify and assess the risk of material misstatement at financial statement level, the assertion level for class of transactions, account balances, and disclosure to provide a basis for designing, performing further audit procedure.
So just so many times it is being proved that ki RAP helps us in deciding our what? PAP. As simple as that. Right? Next one.
For the purpose of identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement, the auditor shall identify risk throughout the process of obtaining an understanding of the entity and its environment, including relevant controls that relate to the risk, and by considering the class of transactions, accounts, and disclosure in the financial statement.
So remember one thing, these are nothing but called, process. This topic is known as process. What is the first thing auditor has to do? What is the second thing auditor has to do? What is the third thing auditor has to do? What is the fourth thing auditor has to do? So what is the first thing auditor has to do? Kamal, read it again. He has to identify what?
Identify risks throughout the process of obtaining and understanding the entity.
So identify the risks by obtaining the understanding of the entity and its what? Environment and its what? Internal control system. After identifying, are you going to keep calm or you are going to assess them? Assess them. What is the second point?
Thus, we identify risks and evaluate whether they relate more pervasively to the financial statements as a whole and potentially
So it means point number 2 says that, what do you mean by pervasively? After identifying the risk, assess then whether they are too heavy or too light, too risky or too light. It means what? We have to identify कि whatever the risk I have identified, is it too heavy risks or is it too light risks? Are you getting the point or not? Yes. Next point.
relate the identified risks to what can go wrong at the assertion level, taking account of relevant controls that the auditor intends to pursue.
So auditor is telling in the point number 3 that after identifying and after assessing, now I have to start imagining what can go wrong. Are you getting the point or not? What possibly can go wrong, imagining that this risk is there. It means, tell me one thing, am I just making an imaginary thing in my head or not? So first of all, I identified the risk. Then I assess the risk level. Means, is it too heavy risk or too light risk? Then I am also trying to understand what possibly can go wrong. What maximum can go wrong if this particular control will not be there in the organization. It means, am I talking about the positive thing or thinking about negative thing? Yes, I'm thinking about the negative thing कि maximum कितने से कितना बुरा हो जाएगा. What maximum can go wrong? And after that, what is the point number 4?
Consider the likelihood of misstatement, including the possibility of multiple misstatement and whether the potential misstatement is of a magnitude that could result in a material mistake.
Then I will consider, okay, if that will go wrong, what is the likelihood? मतलब likelihood means what? What are the chances? Likelihood means what? What are the chances of misstatement? And what are the chances of multiple misstatement? Is there any possibility of multiple misstatement? मतलब multiple frauds and errors? And if there are frauds and errors and multiple frauds and errors, what is the level they have? Level means magnitude. That could result them into what? Are those having the capacity to become material misstatements? See, it's a very simple thing. First thing, I identified the. Let me write it in a simpler manner to make you understand. So, what is the process of 315? Process of 315 says that first, what auditor shall what? Identify the risks by understanding the entity, by understanding the environment of the entity, and by understanding its what? Internal control system. What is the second thing you have to do? Assess. What is the second thing you has to do? Assess. What do you have to assess? You have to assess the ROMM. Is it too heavy or is it too light? It is too heavy or too heavy. Then point number 3. What is the point number 3, everyone? Identify, assess. Now consider or not? Consider what may actually go wrong. What can go wrong? If this is the fraud and error, what maximum can go wrong? Point number 3 may. Then see, is there a misstatement or is there a multiple misstatements? So if there is a misstatement, is there a multiple misstatement? Are there magnitude? Are there magnitude means what? Are their level is so high that it may turn into what? MM. It means so far though we were thinking about only M. What is M? Misstatement. Whether its magnitude is too high that it may turn itself into what? MM. What is MM, everyone? Misstatement or material misstatement? Tell me, everyone. Is it misstatement or material misstatement? Hello?
Really mistake.
Yes, materially misstated. What do you mean by material misstatement? It means can it go too high or not? Whether it is going to be too important and too significant fraud and error or not. So simply, these are the 4 steps which you have to learn in SA 315. So what are the 4 steps? Point number 1, identify the risks. Point number 2, assess the risk. Point number 3, consider what may go possibly wrong. Point number 4, see if the misstatement or multiple misstatement and if their magnitude is too high, whether they can become material misstatement or not. So that is what is whole concept is all about. Did you all understand, everyone? If there is anyone having any kind of doubt, you can ask me right now. Waiting for your doubt. If no doubt, we can proceed further. Okay, so assuming that no doubt, Komal, please read out the next topic.
Risk assessment procedure. Definition. The audit procedures performed to obtain an understanding of the entity and its environment, including the entity's internal, identify and assess the risk of misstatement, whether due to error, the financial statement and assertion.
So RAP definition, though we already know in our SA 500. What do you mean by RAP? RAP is something which gives us an idea about what? It gives us an idea about what?
Statement.
ROMUM. ROMUM at which and which level?
FL and AL.
ROMUM at FS and ROMUM at AL. Correct or not? Yes, that is what is written. Next one.
Risk assessment procedure. A basis for the identification and assessment of risk of misstatement at the financial statement and assertion. The auditor shall perform risk assessment procedure to provide a basis for the identification and assessment of risk of material misstatement at the financial statement level and assertion level. Risk assessment procedures by themselves, however, do not provide sufficient appropriate audit evidence.
Because on the basis of RAP, you cannot only make an opinion because RAP leads you towards what? FAP. So you have to do the RAP also, you have to do the FAP also. After that only you can express the opinion. So you cannot express the opinion or you cannot say that RAP only will give you the absence. So remember one thing, what is the conclusion of this? RAP does not provide you SAAE. It only gives you the idea about what? ROMUM. What will give you the SAAE? FAP will give you the SAAE. So RAP tells you ROMUM. On the basis of ROMUM, you decide your what? FAP. And FAP helps you in getting what? SAAE. But remember, RAP does not give you the SAAE. So this kind of question may come in the form of MCQs also. Whether the RAP provides the sufficient and appropriate audit evidence to the auditor? Yes or no? No. What does it provide? It provides only the understanding of what? ROMUM. ROMUM helps you in deciding your what? NTE of FAP. And FAP provides you what? SAAE. Did you all understand the connection?
Yes.
Yes. Now read out.
Information obtained by performing risk assessment procedure used as audit evidence. Information obtained by performing risk assessment procedure and related may be used by the auditor.
Now, what is written? Shall be or maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe. So that is why they are unsure that a RAP gives you the evidence or not. Now continue. Maybe.
Support may be used by the auditor as audit evidence to support assessments of risk of material.
Yes. What is the word used, everyone? The main word used is what? Support. So it does not act as an evidence. It acts as a supporting evidence. RAP does not. So let's write it in this way. RAP gives you the SAAE or RAP gives you the supporting audit evidence. Yes, it does not give you the sufficient and appropriate either quantity wise or quality wise, but yes, it gives you the supporting evidence. RAP gives you what? Information about the ROMUM. ROMUM helps you in deciding what? NTE of your FAP, and FAP only provides you what? SAAE. I hope whole chain you understood. Yes or no? Yes. Now read it. Next point.
In addition, the auditor may obtain audit evidence about last related assertions and about the operating effectiveness of even though such procedures were not specifically planned as substantive procedures or as test of conduct.
Auditor may?
The auditor also may choose to perform substantive procedures or test of controls concurrently with risk assessment procedures
So
because
tell
it
me,
is
guys, a substantive procedure and test of controls are nothing but FAP only, na?
yes.
Yes. So once we know this point, there's no point of reading it. We already know the whole concept, right? Next point. Read the next paragraph and
The
then.
risk to be assessed including both those due to error and those due to fraud.
Acha, tell me one thing. Frauds and errors. So yesterday we have completed one standard essay 240 also.
Yes.
Fraud and auditors' responsibilities relating to the fraud. So that's what they're trying to tell you here. Just a formality only. Just read it out.
The risk to be assessed including both those due to error and those due to fraud, and both are covered by this essay. However, the significance of fraud is such that further requirements and guidance are included in Essay 240, Auditor's Responsibilities Relating to Fraud in an Audit of Financial Statements. In relation to risk assessment procedures and related activities to obtain information that is used to identify the risk of material misstatement due to fraud. Fraud risk is discussed in Chapter 5.
Hmm. Yes. So what is included in RAP? Inquiries of management and other within the entity, analytical procedures, observation and inspection. Now that too you all know. In the audit evidence chapter only we have done all the techniques of RAP. Do you remember? Tell me the 5 techniques of RAP, everyone. Inquiry,
Observation,
observation,
inspection,
yes,
Review,
inspection, analytical,
review,
review, and recomputation. Am I correct or not?
yes, sir.
Yes. So we have already done that. So if you want, you can read it out. If you want, you can skip it out. That is what we mean by RAP procedures. So everyone, I have to leave you guys 10 minutes before only. Actually, there is one puja at my home. Today is my happy birthday.
happy birthday. Sir.
Thank you so much.
Happy birthday, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Today is my birthday actually. So we have some little bit of family puja at home. So I have to leave you guys 10 minutes before only. And today evening also there is no class. But tomorrow 7 to 11, we have a 2 sessions. Are you getting the point? So I'm going to compensate Monday's class also on Sunday. Are you getting the point? Because Monday also evening I'm not taking the class because I'm going on a family function tomorrow afternoon only. So before leaving afternoon tomorrow we have 7 to 11 class and I will try my level best to complete this chapter before leaving. So Monday there will be no class in the evening, neither in the morning. Tomorrow you have morning 7 to 11 class. Maybe 7 to 10:30 or 7 to 11 that Raja sir will tell me. Okay. So he will inform me accordingly what slot he can provide. And Monday no class and Tuesday as it is. We will take the class in the evening. Because Tuesday onwards and Monday onwards, Raja sir is going to take his morning session as usual. As he was on a bank audit, so I thought of utilizing his time by taking the morning sessions also, and which was very well utilized as well. So tomorrow we will try our level best to complete this essay 315 and tomorrow 7 to 11 is the session. Day after tomorrow, no session. Therefore, we will directly meet after tomorrow on what? Tuesday, right? Thank you so much everyone for lending your patience here. Thank you Tanushri. Thank you so much everyone. Thank you Komal, everyone for being a part of this class. Thank you so much. Bye everyone. Thank you Aarti. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you Devadarshini, everyone. Thank you so much. Chalo. Chalo. Bye everyone. Take care. See you guys tomorrow in the morning session. Okay? Chalo. Bye bye everyone. Bye. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much everyone coming to the team.